Ready? Start. The steering committee in this report attempts to highlight the major concerns, identify the causes underlying the present dismal state of agriculture in the country and suggests a roadmap for reviving agriculture with a view to placing it on a high, inclusive and sustainable growth path. Over the last 50 years, deceleration in the growth of agricultural output was not witnessed for such a long period as seen after 1994 to 95. Another disquieting feature is that some of the sunrise sectors, for example, livestock, fisheries and horticulture, also started showing deceleration. These growth rates are lower than the growth rates in rural population and workforce in agriculture, implying that per capita income in agriculture is declining. Per capita availability of pulses, a major source of protein in the country, showed a sharp decline. Land resources are getting degraded through soil erosion, salinity and alkalinity and chemicalization. Productive capacity of land is declining due to nutrient mining imbalance in the application of soil nutrients, neglect of micronutrients and inadequate application of organic fertilizers. Even after fully exploiting the available water resources, water supply can match the demand only if there is a big improvement in the efficiency of irrigation. Water table in several states is getting depleted at a fast rate as water withdrawal is exceeding its recharge. Large investments needed for pumping out water from deeper aquifers are reducing crop profitability and making farming unviable for smaller farms. Slow growth in agriculture with no significant decline in labor force has created a serious disparity between agriculture and non-agriculture. Practically all the growth so far has come from the expansion of irrigation and increased productivity of irrigated land. Rain-fed agricultural productivity has been more or less stagnant. This is mainly due to the low and highly fluctuating productivity and the low risk bearing capacity of the rain-fed farmers. The out-migration of men driven mainly by rural distress has added to the misery for rural women left behind who have had to share greater work burden in their fields without the necessary rights on land, access to resources, knowledge and skills. Efficiency in resource use encompasses production, marketing, processing, transport, etc. Farmers in India are at a considerable disadvantage in this respect. To be able to compete in a liberalized trade regime, there is a need for a paradigm shift from merely maximizing growth to achieving efficient growth. Moreover, efficient use of resources, including water and chemical inputs, is essential for sustainability. With the rise in capital intensity in agriculture in the face of natural calamities and other man-made disasters, vulnerability of farmers has increased considerably. Farm harvest prices of various commodities often fall below MSP in the markets where public procurement is not effective, as the institutional arrangements for meeting income losses are either non-existent or very weak. Farm households often turn to private sources, which lead to indebtedness and loss of productive assets. Apart from their misuse and leakages, subsidies in several cases are doing more harm than good through the overuse of irrigation water and imbalances in the use of plant nutrients, resulting in wastage and inefficiency. The main reasons for degradation of natural resources are the increasing pressure of human and animal population on natural resources policies like free power for irrigation, leading to the over-exploitation of water resources and the lack of participatory management of natural resources. Fertilizer subsidy has distorted prices in favor of nitrogenous fertilizer, causing nutritional imbalances in many areas, adversely affecting land productivity. Watershed development is a major strategy to make sustainable use of natural resources in rain-fed areas. But projects are mostly planned and implemented by government departments in a piecemeal and fragmented manner without actively involving the beneficiary communities. Agricultural research is underfunded. ICAR and its network has been frequently reviewed by eminent experts, but its highly centralized, hierarchical, and bureaucratic setup has not responded to the need for change. The available resources have not been optimally utilized for lack of clearly stated strategy and rational prioritization of research agenda. Frontline demonstrations by various departments provide clinching evidence of large gaps between what can be attained at farmers' fields with improved technology and what is obtained with the existing practices, clearly pointing to the large potential for raising output through the effective dissemination of technology. But this is not happening because of the absence or weak research extension farmer linkages. Also, realization of demonstration trials yields at farmers' fields on a large scale would require technologies adaptable to wider regional variations. The flow of improved varieties and production technology for rain-fed crops and regions with relatively low rainfall has been uneven. Research has tended to focus mostly on breeding varieties of individual crops for increasing the yield potential by more intensive use of water and biochemical inputs, to the neglect of cropping systems and practices for prudent, efficient and sustainable use of land, water and chemical inputs.